I'm great. I'm excited. We are having a wonderful celebration called Harlem is Healing. We are celebrating 9 plus others of the wonderful honorees of the exhibit who have helped us to weather the pandemic, helped us heal, and helped the community come together. So it's a very exciting day for us.
Why was it important for you to do an event like this?
Well, events like this are really important because they're community building. We want the community to know who is the very extraordinary people in their own backyard. The whole notion of the project is that ordinary people, regular people, make a big difference in community, and that the community needs to be able to see some of the people who do extraordinary things, that these are models, and that we've just been through probably the most difficult time in our history, and yet Harlem came together. It rose because of community leadership, and it rose because of people really caring and helping each other.
Give us a little background on you and your involvement in this and Harlem.
In general? So the organization is 32 years young. It was founded with a very simple mission to celebrate and connect diverse communities through the power of arts. Quite by chance, I met a man named Tunde Samuel, who was at the National Black Theater, and it was one of the first theaters I worked with. We produced and presented theater events for young people with Afrocentric themes, and it was very exciting. Our theater program grew and grew. We served over 100,000 young people a year through performances. We started doing workshops in schools, and then we started a project called Making a Difference, where we honored community leaders. And this project is based on that. We identified people in the community in music and theater and culture who had changed Harlem.
Can't see you, Robin. Good, good, good.
You ready to? Oh, you can stay there, bro. Come close.
Can be
Beautiful.
welcome. Thank
All right,
you.
here we go. Hold it. Okay, here we go. Nice one. Okay. Want to get the shirt?
Good stuff.
All right,
I saw your podcast too. I remember seeing your podcast. You know.
First Corinthian Baptist Church. We are more than pleased to host this event. For those who don't know, this is interesting. We celebrate Harlem today and heroes in Harlem. This building has been a part of this community since 1913. Wow. And so it was opened as one of the first palatial movie houses in New York City. And the church purchased this space in 1964. And so we've been blessed to have this space and place that we call home. And so welcome today. I want to also acknowledge and just put my hands together for all the honorees who are here. That number with so many amazing people who are all doing remarkable work, healing work, transformative work, transcendent work in our community. And so we thank them and thank all of you. It is a true pleasure not only to be here, but then to introduce this woman who is so responsible for so many things. She's not only the head of Community Works, but she is the founder of the Harlem Is exhibit. And so we thank Dr. Harlem for her work, for her vision. And it is always a true measure when you never know who's paying attention to you.
Never know.
And we're grateful. So we thank you for your vigilance in this season and for the capacity to gather us together and put on this amazing exhibit here in Harlem.
My great pleasure.
And without any further ado, Barbara Harlem.
What a moment that I have to follow him. I'll take a deep breath. So, on behalf of Community Works, Barbara Horowitz, Rosa Rivers of New Heritage Theater. A very, very extra warm welcome. How fitting, I think, that we're here in this holy place, a church that is truly dedicated to work for and by the people in this community. And I mean that really sincerely from the bottom of my heart. You just have to come here any day and see the lines outside and people being fed and amazing programming happening because of this man standing behind me. So, it is an honor to celebrate the remarkable honorees who've helped us heal from the ravages of the pandemic, and one of perhaps, if not one of the most challenging times in our history, when our democracy has clearly been on the line. Also, we are very, very proud to be the first program of the Harlem Arts Alliance Arts Advocacy Month. What is abundantly clear to me is that each of our honorees from very diverse fields and backgrounds use their work selflessly to advocate for change and healing in the community. I think we've all been on a journey. We know that. It's been a 2-year journey. We began, interestingly enough, Harlem Is Project in early April 2020. We honored 4 leaders on social media, hoping to provide some comfort and healing, and knowing, like the rest of you, the pandemic would be over in another couple of weeks. Well, it didn't happen. So, for sure, it's been many years later, and we have endured. We are persevering from the ills of a pandemic and social upheaval that none of us could have ever envisioned. We are proud, Community Works, to have told the stories now of 50 local heroes on social media, on our website, and on YouTube, each offering, most importantly, hope and promise, and which today's honorees all are a part of. And how important also for us to tell this story finally in the streets of Harlem. And so we had hoped to be there today with you, but the weather did not permit. So everyone, get yourself to 120th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue and see this glorious exhibit that honors 9 of the 50 honorees and reminds us all that change can and does take place. It takes place in community. Communities matter. So today we honor not only the honorees, but the resilience of Harlem.
Yes.
That always rises, rises, rises.
Yes.
And now I need some help, so I'd like to call Daniel Carlton up. Daniel is a writer, poet, artist, educator. He's worked with Community Works, believe it or not, for 2 decades or more, working with young people, teaching them the cultural history of Harlem. Daniel is going to help me recognize the amazing people in this room. And so what I'm going to ask is, as we call your name, to please come forward and turn to the audience. So we're going to begin with you, Daniel, and go to it.
All right. I almost feel guilty about doing this on a mic because our first honoree is pretty close. So we celebrate everybody. Robin Bell Stevens. Now, if you don't know, you do know that she is the director and executive producer of the 50-year-old Jazzmobile, 60-year-old Jazzmobile. 60-year-old. Her extraordinary efforts to provide free jazz and jazz education programs to Harlem and beyond, and I've been fortunate enough to be one of the people that she hired during the pandemic for keeping the music alive during the pandemic. Robin Bell Stevens.
We celebrate Arva Rice. I'm going to digress for a moment. I met Arva, believe it or not, 25 years ago, Arva, is that right? She was at the Fund of the City of New York. She was 12 and I was 20. She was working with Alfonso Wyatt, who is a minister too, actually, but also was head of major programs there. And Alfonso turned to me one day and he said, "Look at Arva, she's going to do great things." And you know, he was right.
Yeah.
All right.
Of the New York Urban League. We thank her for her inspirational work on issues of social justice, jobs, education, providing healing programs and hope through the toughest moments of the pandemic. Thank you, Arva. It's up to you,
Yes.
Daniel. Can you do it?
Yes. Let's see, where is she?
Akemi is...
Akemi! Writer, scholar, activist, granddaughter of the legendary Yuri Kochiyama. We thank you, we celebrate you for fighting against rising violence aimed at minorities and your work and your work to build solidarity between Black and Asian communities, and everything that you do, we celebrate you. Thank you so much.
Where is Andrea Arroyo? Andrea? Yeah. I know Andrea. Andrea is a master artist and activist. She uses her art truly to inspire and to remind us that we all have a role in solving issues that plague our communities. And believe it or not, daily she created art on social media posts offering hope during the pandemic, and she's still doing it. It's your turn.
All right, well.
Oh God, you got to do him.
Okay, so let us all say amen. Amen. We celebrate Reverend Michael A. Walrond Jr. I mean, you all know he is the senior pastor of this land that we're standing on right now, 1 Corinthian Baptist Church. He's grown his congregation to be the largest in Harlem, developing vital, innovative community programs dealing with mental health, social justice, policing, increasing minimum wage, food distribution, and everything you can imagine to help this community in not only its growth and its healing, but in the flight of Harlem, and how Harlem is something with wings and he gets us closer to heaven every time.
Tao Battice, noted photographer. Amazing artist who created the photographs that grace our exhibition. But he has for tens of years now been documenting people of the African diaspora with such heart, with such soul. And during the pandemic, he was out in the streets and created amazing street portraits that are called Harlem in the time of Corona. Give it up for Tao. Yeah.
We celebrate Winston Majette of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce and Bolden. We celebrate him for all of his tireless work to create, nurture, and rekindle economic and cultural growth in Harlem, and to help provide thousands of meals a day during the pandemic. Thousands.
We all celebrate Jackie Rowe-Adams. Harlem S.A.V.E, founded in 2006 after she lost 2 sons to a shooting, for her heart, for her soul, for her continuing work to reduce gun violence through youth programs, marches, rallies, bereavement groups. She is the real deal. Yes. The real deal.
Other honorees in our Harlem is Healing campaign who are present today is
Lena.
We celebrate Dr. Lena L. Green. The executive director of the Hope Center for the Hope Center, yes, and who she helps to provide much needed mental health services to the community and for people recovering from the pandemic and the social turmoil that comes with that. Thank you for what you do.
Doji, where's Doji? Please come forward. I don't think Phyllis is here, but we honor Doji and the Kent Royal Gallery.
The Kent Royal Gallery.
One of the few Black-owned galleries in this country. Space for exhibition and dialogue. And during the pandemic, believe it or not, he continued to present art in those windows to passers-by so they could feel the power.
That's right.
Yes. We celebrate Aurora Flores. Yes. A musician, a writer, an activist who's created powerful music during the pandemic that provides hope and healing. Thank you for what you do.
You're welcome. And this holy space. We are blessed.
We celebrate, thank you, Genevieve Andrea. Where are you, Genevieve?
She's around.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Of note, who works every year with the annual holiday tree and has made it a community symbol of youth and hope and an effort to promote recycling. Thank you, Genevieve.
Yeah.
She was winner of the week last year for the holiday tree.
Is Vi here? What happened to Vi Higginson?
Yeah, she should be here.
She left?
She's here?
I
She's
didn't
not
see
here.
her.
Vi will reappear.
Well, you know what?
does.
She does.
She always
does,
reappears.
Yes, Mama, we want to sing.
You a blessing? Excuse me. You a blessing, and then he'll perform. Okay, so we just got an invitation for a blessing from Pastor Mike, and I couldn't turn anything like that down.
Good. I just want, well, we talked about this earlier, but I didn't want the time to pass if we didn't just honor the honorees and thank God, not just for the honorees, but for all of you who are here today. And because the truth is that all of us make this amazing village what it is. And it takes all of us to continue to deepen our commitment and strength to this place and to this space. So let's have a word of prayer. God, we thank you on this day, and we honor you, oh God, for how you continue to be so mindful of us, oh God. Oh God, every day you remind us of the sufficiency of your grace, the enduring nature of your mercy, and the covering power of your love. We ask, oh God, that you touch and continue to use these honorees in powerful ways, that they may continue to deepen their impact and expand their humanity by deepening their generosity, oh God. Continue to not only keep them, but, oh God, be with all those who are here today in this space. For just as much as we celebrate honorees, oh God, we celebrate your creativity and your imagination for making us all unique and distinct. So continue, oh God, to lead and continue to guide. And we will continue to honor you with our gifts, our talents, our abilities, realizing that what you've given each and every one of us in here today is not for us, but it is to build a legacy by enhancing another human life. We thank you, God. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now I get to introduce Daniel again, who's going to wow you with an original poem that he wrote in honor of the honorees. Who else?
One more for Barbara.
Yeah.
You know that the title, Harlem is nowhere, Harlem is everywhere. And even look around the room and you're standing probably next to someone who, if they build roots here in Harlem, they have contributed to the cultural beauty of Harlem, they've responded to the challenges of Harlem, and Harlem is. Harlem is a history that dances with innovation. It's art that goes way beyond decoration. It demands your spirit's participation. It's dance as flight. It's feet with wings out of sight. It's music with a beat. It's from the rafter of the churches to the sounds of the street. It's throw your prayers in the air and wave them like you just don't care because you really do care. Yeah. Harlem is healing because in this now uptown, a pandemic lifted the veil of so much systematic vulnerability of so many of our beloved village hit extra hard by an invisible enemy, a virus that swept through the very air with the ferocity of a storm that changed the very atmosphere. And the only thing that became clear is that to heal is to reveal what needs to immediately be done. And the forward direction that heroes, sheroes, they-ros have to run. See, a frontline community gets to work, not for the glory, but because this is when they join the story, going beyond the very real trepidation to a selfless response to the situation. Because Harlem is a place of practical magic, never surrendering to the finality of tragic. Harlem healing is mothers saying no to silence when it comes in the wake of violence. Harlem is spirit. It's a mosaic, a mural, it's always plural. It's a paintbrush wielded by those who refuse to hush. Harlem is healing, is art that goes way beyond decoration. It demands your spirit's participation. Harlem is gumbo, mofongo, arroz con pollo. Harlem is west side to east. It's always a feast. It's sun-kissed sons and daughters of the Aztec, Taino, Ashanti. It's El Barrio, the epitome of new world blended beauty. And when the pandemic storm swept through like a swarm, Harlem translated to the language of getting healing done. S-O-L meets S-O-U-L. Soul meets soul, baby. Harlem is gathering. Yes, the spirit meets community as advocacy. Harlem is like a talking drum with faith as the rhythm and the power. See, we will get through this moment in time, this hour. Harlem is, yes, a dream center that renders hope with a plan. It's teaching us how to fish beyond a wish, to stand tall, but recognizing that there is a racist wall. See, Harlem goes beyond a wish. It's recognizing that wall, but love in action conquers all. And to live that advocacy in this verse from 1 Corinthians that rings, love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all, endures. See, Harlem is healing is so many more who keep us thinking and believing, dreaming and achieving. Harlem is a. Come on, y'all. See, it's a soul clap and syncopation. See, for those of y'all who have answered this call, who picked up that ball, with respect and gratitude, we celebrate y'all. Thank you.
So now you know why I've worked with Daniel for 25 years, huh? Thank you, Daniel. I want to take a moment to thank some people, then we're going to open up the buffet and we're going to hang out. But as you know, these things never happen without the help of a lot of people. The staff and the advisory board of Community Works and New Heritage. Special kudos to Terry Squadron. He is our unsung hero. He interviewed all of our 50 honorees that are part of this project. Lady Coke, who keeps it together, to Deirdre Holman, our educational person, who Daryl Downing we cannot live without. You know all these folks, right? To Jasmine Heatley. Of our board, but let me take special thanks always to Kathy Benson. Where is Kathy? And my son, Josh Horowitz, who has volunteered his time. I don't know how he has any time because he works 24/7. Our artistic team, you heard me sing the praises already of Battice and the designer, Clara Alonso. You get yourself to the exhibit, get out the word. We can do some free tours for communities, so reach out to me, especially school groups. We, of course, can't live without Robin Bell Stevens. Another round of applause for those amazing. Yes.
And the name of the group is Kevin Monk, the leader, and the Crescent City Brass Band.
And of course, Rosa Rivers. More events and exhibits and programs that I can even count. Just gratitude. Special thanks to First Corinthian Church. I have fallen in love with this church. I have seen it firsthand through the eyes of Pastor Mike, through interviewing Lena Green, through the food being passed out on the streets, through everything I've read, who actually listened to his sermons on Friday. I am a convert. Thank them for their support, for giving us this cool space, and for lending us the remarkable Sharon Charles Chancy. she's helped to make this day happen. We can't do it without funders. We always need more, but thanks to Con Edison, Humanities New York, the New York City Department of Transportation, who helped us put up this glorious outdoor exhibition, Connie Lee, who helped manage the project. Finally, very simply, I am so grateful for doing this work and telling these needed stories. It's been life-changing for me, really life-changing. I'm now going to ask for one more round of applause for the musicians, and then I'm going to ask them to do one more piece. And after that, I invite you all to gobble up the good food that we have and hang out. So thank you, thank you. One more number, please.
Thank you.
Kochiyama, you were honored today for your work, Harlem is Healing. How important is that to you?
I think it was a beautiful project and effort to really, I think, inspire and give hope to the community and people in Harlem to show, how much people in our local community are doing to heal ourselves. And there's so many positive things going on in the community, and I think it's beautiful that community works and work really hard to really, highlight those people's work. And I think it was inspiring as an honoree for me myself to be honored with these people and to learn about their work.
Talk a little bit about your work and what you do.
So I am a writer and a scholar activist, and my work is really about building solidarity and community at a time when, there's so much racial polarization, there's so much disparity, and I think it's really important for people to focus on building community and where we connect as people, where our histories connect, and I'm really committed to continuing to do that work so that people can work together. So in a time when there's a lot of polarization, racial polarization, so much socioeconomic disparity, and people really need to see where they connect and how they can connect and build bridges to each other. I think it's really important, and I think we've all seen how much the so much conflict has been really destructive to our communities and to our country. So I think I'm just really committed to continuing to do the community building work. I think that's going to heal us.
Andrea, you were honored today. How important was that to be honored?
It's very important. It's super sweet. I'm very honored. I'm very proud to be part of this group of amazing people.
So talk a little bit about your work and what you do.
So I'm a visual artist and an activist, and I use art as a tool for social change. And I'm also a curator, and I give opportunities to a lot of artists who are not usually served by the traditional institutions. So I use art both to express and to bring people together.
¿Qué país? What country are you from?
I'm originally from Mexico City, but I've been living in New York for about 30 years.
Battice, you were honored today. How important and what does that mean to you?
Really very humbling, actually. In some senses, we don't think that we're worthy, but to do a work quietly and to be recognized for that, and other people see the value in it and the utility and the usefulness for humanity, it's really just very humbling and also very encouraging.
Talk a little bit about the work that you did during the pandemic.
So during the pandemic, I started what I called Harlem in the time of Corona, where basically I walked around and I made portraits of people socially distant, usually with masks, and asked them what the pandemic meant to them, what kind of toll, how did they have to readjust their lives, and how did it dampen or encourage their spirit. So it's really a visual ethnography. I made an image, but I also interviewed each person. So I photographed maybe about 50 people, and I did it over the span of the year. So from April 2020 to March 2021.
You were honored today. How important was that honoree?
Oh, well, it was really amazing to be honored amongst all these incredible people who are really a part of the Harlem is Healing exhibit. Everyone is really contributing to the healing and the hopefulness of Harlem over these past 2 years that have been incredibly challenging for our nation, but also incredibly challenging for Harlem. So it was really just an honor to be here to celebrate, to honor those folks who are really giving back to the community in such a beautiful and special way.
Talk a little bit about the work that you do.
So I am the executive director of the Hope Center Harlem, which is the mental health clinic connected to First Corinthian Baptist Church. And there we provide free mental health services to the community. So folks can come and get counseling services. We offer a host of groups as well. And we also do what we call our healing conversations, which really are around a particular topic that is of concern related to mental health. So everything from focusing on grief and loss to depression to navigating the pandemic.
Ms. Robin Bell Stevens, honored today. How important was the honoree to you?
Actually, you know, there's an old saying, it's one thing to be honored and it's another thing to be honored by your peers. So that's the feeling I have today, to have been identified by Boza Rivers and Barbara Horowitz and their board as someone that is doing the work that I love, and to have been honored this way for it amongst an amazing group of people. It's really quite special.
So for those that don't know, tell us what you do.
So I'm the director and executive producer of Jazzmobile, the country's oldest not-for-profit that was created with a mission just for jazz. We present free concerts throughout the summer, July, August, and this year, September. We have education programs that take place in public schools, teaching young people how to play their instruments, teaching about theory and harmony. We have lecture demos to introduce those who are not musicians to this great American classical music that we call jazz. And then we officially launched our year-round programming with something called Jazzmobile Sessions that we do in collaboration with the Interchurch Center. And every second Wednesday, we are there providing, again, free concerts. And if I didn't say it before, I'll say it again. All of our core programs are free to the public.
During the pandemic,
really quickly, because I need Dr. Rice to sign the photo.
she can still sign. She can still sign while I'm doing it.
Yeah, she's just on her way out, so I just want to...
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
During the pandemic, you kept the music playing. Tell us how you did that.
Well, yes, it was quite interesting. Jazzmobile Summerfest is New York City's longest-running jazz festival. And when the pandemic hit, I got phone calls, I got emails, text messages, not only from our donors, but from our audience and musicians saying, so, what's happening with Summerfest this year? And I said, well, I can tell you for sure, we're not going to cancel it, but I can't tell you what we are going to do. And what we ended up doing with the support of the city, in particular the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation, as well as the Department of the Interior, which manages Grant's Tomb, Riverside Park, as well as Marcus Garvey Park. All of them said, and I almost forgot, the Central Park Conservancy. At that point, live concerts with audiences, amplified sound was not allowed. But they said, we will allow Jazzmobile to come in here, and each one of us gave us permission to record 4 acts. And then we were then able to present them over JZM-TV, which is our Jazzmobile TV station on YouTube. And they were all new programs. Everyone else that was doing it, they did great work, but their programs were things that were pre-recorded, that were in the can, but these were concerts. And we have an amazing director of photography by the name of, what is his name? Oh yes, Tony Austin, who is an incredible Tony Emmy-nominated videographer. But we were able to put together a program that has been able, and is still up on our stations. So thanks to all of those supporters, as well as our donors, Department of Cultural Affairs, Louis Armstrong Educational Foundation, Con Edison, and others, to present this amazing program during the pandemic. And then for our education programs, we have adopted, if you will, a school that is a Title I school, and we were able to bring our Saturday Jazz Workshop program via Zoom. So these young kids got private lessons for 8 weeks for 2 semesters. So it was an amazing time for us, where we were able to bring this great music that this community in particular loves so much.
Your band was amazing. It opened up this whole ceremony. Tell us a little bit about your band.
Well, my band's called the Crescent City Six. It's a New Orleans-style brass band. I've had it together for many years, actually. But the most important thing for me to convey is that now I'm a Harlem resident. I live just around the corner, and that's new. My wife and I just recently moved here, and I have to say I think we've finally found our community, our home, because I've been looking for a while. I've been in New York a long time. I'm also an educator. I teach at LaGuardia High School, music and arts, so I work with children all the time. And I think I can't see anything more important than both the education of the kids and then also the building of community. In being involved with things like this means so much to me. So I'm really honored to be here today.
Reverend, thank you for allowing us to have this ceremony here at your church. Tell us why it was important for you to do that.
To host this event? Yeah, no, I mean, well, besides Barbara wanting us to do it, I think it was a powerful statement for us to be part of this because, you know, 1 Corinthian is such a central part to this part of the community, and most people in the community identify us for the work we do beyond the walls of this church. And so, one, I was humbly part of the Harlem exhibit, but then grateful that we could incorporate so many other members. Actually, 2 other of our members are part of Harlem exhibit, so I was really grateful for that. But I thought it was just right for us to be here in this vestibule of this amazing church, which used to be a theater, but also it connects the work that Harlem is, exhibition did, as she said, with the spirit and with the soul. This is all soul work at the end of the day, and so I'm grateful for that.
Talk a little bit about the work that you do outside of the church for the community.
Yeah, you know, we do a lot, but there's 2 things that I'm profoundly proud of. Our Hope Center. In fact, the executive director of our Hope Center was honored. It is the first faith-based free mental health clinic in this community. So we offer free mental health treatment there. We've opened it in 2016, so it has been amazing. And then the Dream Center, which does programs focused on arts, leadership development, economic empowerment, and innovation. And so those are 2 footprints we have here in Harlem that are doing amazing work and reaching so many people. So I'm really proud of those 2 projects.
Honored today. Tell us about the importance of being honored for your work.
Today is a very special day because being honored, you know, among all these amazing people, I feel very special because I didn't think I was like doing anything major, but I know that the love of the community of Harlem and the the goal of my gallery is to show that we can persevere and achieve bigger things, you know, through art. So I'm very honored to be part of the honorees.
Talk a little bit about your gallery, the first black gallery in Harlem.
So in 2018, my wife Phyllis and I took a trip to Ghana, and when we were inspired. I'm originally from Ghana and Togo. My wife is from Detroit, you know, African American from Detroit. So when we went to Ghana, on our way back to New York City, we decided to do something special for the community. We wanted to do something impactful for the community of Harlem. So we started doing research, and we found out that in New York City, there are over 1,500 art galleries, but less than 1% are black owned. So we don't even have 20 commercial black owned art galleries representing our culture. So my wife and I decided to put our life savings behind the whole project, and we opened Kente Royal Gallery with the help of our friends from the Abyssinian Baptist Church and the Reverend Dr. Calvin Bott III. And we opened up the gallery 8 months before the COVID-19 pandemic happened.
You're honored today. Tell me the importance of being honored.
I was honored today, and I'm honored to be honored. So,
tell me a little bit about the work that you do.
Well, the work, first of all, let me thank Barbara Harwitz, Vosa Rivers. Harlem is healing. And the work I do is mothers and fathers and families who've lost kids to gun violence. One of the things that I do is work with them on healing by letting them know they're not alone, dealing with the trauma that they go through, dealing with the pain and hurt that they go through, dealing with education and prevention in the community. It's so much more, but I'm just going to highlight some of the things that we do. We're going out to the schools, talking to the kids, talking and working with the families that have had not only gun violence, but violence. And some of the kids are traumatized too. And what we deal with is we let them know, we know they hurt too. So we work with the kids by making sure that they have programs, making sure that they get the resources that they do. So this is just some of the things that Harlem mothers and fathers do. Of course, we do plenty of rallies, plenty of marching. And that's why Harlem is Healing is so appropriate. Because the pain and hurt is a mental health and mental piece in the community. And so that's some of the work that I do. And God have blessed me. We started off with 5 mothers. Now we have 50 plus mothers and fathers that come once a month. And we deal with the healing. You never get over losing a child or a loved one. You never get over it, but you learn to heal and you learn to move forward.
You opened up with this beautiful poem for this event today. Talk a little bit about the concept of it.
The poem is just to really sort of give metaphor and actual actions of these people who have done all this amazing work, and to sort of put it in a poetic form and to give very specific things within it, but also put it in the bigger context of poetry and history and the rhythm of service.
Talk a little bit about the work that you've been doing with Barbara.
So for about 27 years, I've been working with Barbara and Community Works, helping to develop programming, interview people, some of the earlier Harlemist programs, and bringing young people to meet some of these people that are being honored, and to help develop it through other creative sources. So I've been able to create shows based on some of these themes, and to bring young people to those shows, and to also lead community tours through the exhibitions, particularly the ones that take place in Harlem.